Here we go. So today, guys, I'm going to talk to you about Limited, and I'm going to answer one question, which is Limited still worth it? Like, is it worth playing this mode every weekend, especially with all the other stuff we've got going on in the game? And really about, this season, if you haven't finished Limited yet, and next season, whether it's worth doing. We talk about this a lot on the podcast, but I just wanted to give my own sort of take on it. That's just maybe a bit longer than I would usually talk about it on the podcast. As always, guys, please like and subscribe. We are flying towards 1,000 subs on this channel. I think we've got 50 subs in the last few days. Thank you to everyone who's doing that. I really appreciate it. Like, I wish I could find the words to really show my gratitude, but I just really appreciate it. I want you to know that. If you haven't dropped a sub, guys, it takes 2 seconds and it's free. Just drop a sub and drop a like on the video if you enjoy it. We are recording the podcast tonight, which is, a day earlier than usual. We streamed yesterday, which was also a day earlier than usual. So everything's been pulled forward by a day. And the podcast is actually going to drop on Saturday this week. We've got Killzamoy on the podcast. That's amazing. I've been chasing him for a long time. We finally got him on the show. And I'll be streaming on Sunday instead of Monday to do the reaction stream to that. So come along for that. It's always a lot of fun in those streams. And again, you guys got me to affiliate in four streams, which is, again, I mean, what can I say? Just thank you. Just thank you. Okay, let's get into this video. So, history of Limited isn't good, right? It's not good in terms of rewards. Aaron Gordon, Jaylen Brown, Russell Westbrook, who was the first one? Ralph Sampson, I think, was the first one. They all have something in common in the sense that they were just underwhelming rewards. They really were. The time that they dropped, most of these cards were outdated. There was better cards in the game by the time they arrived. And there just wasn't really any hype. I think Westbrook was the one maybe people were most excited about. But, they messed up that card completely. They gave him, slow release, and they patched it a week ago, but, they patched it a week before the next limited reward came out, so it was just too little too late. And I'm going to say it, I do like that Westbrook now. Not a top 5 point guard in the game, but I do like him now. If you see my gameplay from yesterday, you'll see I had some fun with him. But the history of Limited is just underwhelming. That's the word. It's just underwhelming. It's never what we really wanted it to be. And this season was different, right? So we're going to do a Pau Gasol gameplay. I tore through Limited this week, by the way. I got 11 wins in like half an hour. It was just rage quit after rage quit. I did miss the ring twice. I need to stop going right because it's always on the left for some reason. But we will run a gameplay. We're going to take him into a game of TTO and just try him out. I'm going to try out his shot and a few other things as well. But yeah, Pau Gasol should be good. And the reason he should be good is because they held back on his stats. And I'm going to take credit for this because the only time anyone brought this up was us on the podcast. And we brought it up a couple of weeks in a row. And then a week later, they did it with D-Rob and Pau Gasol. I'm almost certain that we had some level of influence. We had some big names on those podcasts. We had DBG on one when we spoke about it. We had Ty on the other one when we spoke about it. So I feel like 2K might have picked that up. But they've done the right thing. They held back, which stops the card being outdated. So if 2K messed this up, if they actually release an outdated card when they didn't need to, it's just bonkers. Like, you literally hold back for the reason not to outdate this card, so don't outdate it. What is interesting about this card, he's got Hoff range. His release is on very quick, which I find fascinating. Like, I've never seen a card that's releases on very quick before. I find that super, super interesting. So it could be lightning fast. There may be other cards. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember seeing a card with very quick on the release. He looks slow. He does look like a slow card. It doesn't look like he's going to be moving. And, there are other problems in the sense that D-Rob and KG are out. And it's just going to be impossible for that card to compete. Which is why I come to the conclusion that if they release these cards when they announce them, right? Like, it's almost like every card should be a season earlier. That's what it feels like, right? Like, if Westbrook had dropped the previous season, if this Pau Gasol had dropped when Westbrook dropped, then he would have been a valid card in the game. I think almost everyone would have been running him. AD was like the best center in the game. I think we were running Hakeem at the time, things like that. And then we got some OP centers this season. But it always feels like when they announce it, which is right at the start of the season, is when that card would have made sense. And by the time we get there, it just doesn't. But like I said, 2K have had the opportunity to correct this season. They really have had the opportunity to correct it because they held back. And this should be a good card. I mean, for a 5-week grind, regardless of how easy you find it, how difficult you find it, it's still a 5-week grind. There should be something usable at the end of it. I know people stop and get the Hall of Fame badge, things like that. But the card has to be usable. If you're asking us to grind for anything over the space of an entire season, it has to be usable. They've let us down time and time again with the stuff. It's not just limited. Like that Baron Davis card was a fiasco as well. Like there's been a few examples of us putting in a grind and not getting the card that we deserved. So let's see if this Pau Gasol is the card that we deserved. That's what we need to see now. So there's a lot riding on this freestyle here. And we are greening the shot. It's not as quick. I mean, it doesn't feel like a very quick release. I think the jumper itself, the mechanic isn't great. But this is the thing that should have put this card over the top. It's on online versus difficulty, by the way, guys. I mean, we're greening. We are greening. But if I call this a quick release, I don't know if I would call it, like, very quick. Definitely not. It's definitely not. So, again, is it already underwhelming? I mean, you can hit with him. You could definitely shoot with him. I just don't know if he's what we wanted. And this is the thing, guys. Like, I'm going to get into a gameplay. I'm going to play a TTO game with him and see how he gets on. Regardless of how the card turns out, regardless of how valuable this card is at the end of the day, I'm going to give you my take as we play that TTO game on, like, I'm going to answer the question directly, like, whether limited is worth it. Because I think there's more to limited than just the rewards. In terms of the rewards, I mean, I'm getting pretty close to answering that question. But let's get into a game of TTO. So as I said before, guys, I'm getting close to answering this question. I'm going to run in with Luca and Cedric. We get an interesting matchup there. All cards that can shoot. Pretty good TTO budget lineup, that's quite clever. But yeah, we're getting close to answering this question. I mean, unless Pau blows me away in this gameplay, and I've got a feeling he isn't going to do that, the rewards are no longer worth it. In terms of the Hall of Fame badge, oh geez, see, that release does feel baited already. Yeah, let's move on. Good defense. In terms of the Hall of Fame badge, like, Hall of Fame badges are about to lose value as well. We know that, right? I mean, a KG dropped today with 41 Hoff badges. I mean, we are not far away. I don't know how much difference any Hoff badge is going to make right now. I mean, you're probably talking about pushing from gold. What am I doing? His movement is horrendous. Oh, my goodness me. I do not like this card already. Let's see. I'm going to give him a chance. But he turned like a bus there. Like, that was the worst turning circle I've ever seen on a card. Yeah, we are getting to a point now where Hoff badges are going to be pretty irrelevant soon. I mean, how many cards, like, in the next 6 weeks are not going to come with all the main badges on Hall of Fame, or at least on gold, right? Like I said, all you're going to do is be upgrading it from gold to silver. We've missed another one there. I mean, you just saw me, like, in freestyle greeting that shot repeatedly, but as soon as you get in game and there's a possibility of someone contesting it, it isn't it. But right, let me tell you, let me answer the question. So for rewards, it's not worth it anymore. It's just not. Hall of Fame badge, not really worth it. The reward cards are always outdated. And like I said earlier, guys, if they dropped it at the right time, there's some good defense, but it's from Luca. If they dropped it at the right time, they could be worth it. And I really do believe that this Gasol would have been worth it if they dropped him 5 weeks ago. But it's 5 weeks too late. That's a long cycle. It's a whole season in this game. I don't think, actually, even when they announced him, I don't think he would have been the best center in the game because I think AD was already out. So it's probably, you're going back 8 weeks. Like 8 weeks back, and you can say that Gasol was the best center in the game. He does green a shot there, a little bit better from the corners, it looks like. So yeah, the rewards just aren't worth it. I mean, you could pick up a better center. I mean, like, Cat is like 40k. He's comparable. He's probably better. He moves better. Like this Gasol doesn't feel like he's moving to me. So you're probably picking up a better card for about 40k right now. Is that worth a 5 week grind? No. Hall of Fame badge, is it worth it? Not really anymore. I mean, I pulled one half decent half badge all year anyway, which was Corner Specialist. I haven't even used it. So, I mean, the odds of pulling a decent off badge is just so slim. But he does green another shot there. Pau, okay. If he's open, he'll hit. That's the conclusion I've come to. But if you need to create space or try and create your own shot with him, you've got no chance. Absolutely no chance. So, is the limited grind worth it? Well, surprisingly, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. And here's why. If you're doing it for rewards, it's not. If you're doing it for fun, it's the most fun game mode. I've really come to like Limited as a game mode. I really, really like it. And part of the reason is because Unlimited is just so bad as a game mode. And it's only going to get worse, guys, with Unlimited. Unlimited now is going to be the solution to Unlimited. As everyone is running 10 players who can do everything, which we're going to get to in the next couple of weeks. And, you know, it's really going to come down to just algo deciding games. Skill will be less relevant as we go. Every card's going to be able to shoot, so we're going to see 4 whites going in like crazy. Unlimited is getting more and more insufferable as the year goes on. It's becoming less and less skill-based as the year goes on. And, that's just going to continue. Limited is the solution because no one can do that. There are occasionally, it's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And I think there's been a bigger deal made out of that than there should have been. But there's been 2 or 3 weeks where, you basically have an edge if you've spent money, right? Like all-star requirements, things like that. Like, there have been weeks, but the majority of weeks, like this week, I had to run, emeralds in my starting lineup. And it was fun, guys. It was just fun. It's fun to do it. It's fun to put the lineups together. And when it comes to rewards, it's about the secondary rewards. So is Limited worth it in terms of rewards? Last week, I pulled, ironically, Pink Diamond Mark Gasol out of one of those throwback packs. I've got a few this week as well that I need to open, but I made like 70k off that sale, just off that one card. The rewards are decent outside of the main reward. So there's a lot of reasons. There is a lot of reasons to play Limited. And right now, the main reason is it's the most fun game mode. It's not sweaty. It's no consequence. If you're having a rough time, you can quit and it doesn't mean anything. You can just play games you enjoy. You can sweat and not, if you lose the game at the end, not feel like you just lost a 12-0 run or, Galaxy Opal tier or whatever. There's just not enough space in the game for that. And I think because of the way Unlimited is set up and the longer we go in the year, the more and more important Limited is going to become because, guys, this game is supposed to be about having fun. I know there's a lot of people that find fun in, just sweating every game, but that's not what this is about. It's a video game, and Limited really encapsulates the fun that could be in this game better than any other game mode. Like that and TTO, probably. So, is Limited worth it? Yes. It's worth it because it's the most fun game mode. It's worth it because I think it's the most interesting game mode. I think it's the most skill-based game mode. It's not difficult. If you're really good at this game, like, look, just as a comparison, I lose, right now, maybe 3 to 4 out of 10 Unlimited games. Like, I'm not playing well. I lose 1 in 10 Limited, if not less. Like, if you're good at the game, it's a fun game mode. If you're a casual, it's a fun game mode. For everyone, it's just fun, and you can get really good rewards out of it. Just looking at the stats quickly, guys, you can see that we didn't miss a 3 outside of Pau Gasol. My conclusion is he's not going to make my squad. So that's my conclusion on that. But if the question is, should you play Limited? The answer is absolutely yes. It's just a ridiculously fun game mode. Guys, please like and subscribe. Podcast tomorrow. Until next time, thanks for watching, guys.